We are back in the tent. Today we have a good friend of ours, Esfandiar Bandari. Welcome to the show. Thanks for making time. Tell us a little bit about, who's Esfandiar? What have you been up to? I know I've looked at your profile or your history, and you've been all over the place and done some really cool things.
Thank you.
And you're up to something really cool now. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your history and your background.
Sure, thanks for having me here. So my background goes, I actually moved to Canada and then to the US and studied in Berkeley, Stanford, CMU. And one of the last gigs I did was I was a scientist at NASA Ames.
Mm-hmm.
And then worked on some very, very interesting projects at NASA, wonderful projects actually. And then went to Cambridge, got an MBA, and decided that I really wanted to get into the startup business.
So really quickly, so
Sure.
you moved to Canada from Iran?
To Canada, yes.
Yes. And so did you, growing up, think, I want to work for NASA, or is that, how did that happen? I mean, I know the gentleman, what's his name, who did the Mars rover.
Right.
What's his name? I forgot.
Nader?
Yeah, he's Iranian, and
yes.
so like, I know that was kind of a big deal, but at the end of the day, how does one all of a sudden end up at NASA?
Is so. God, this now takes me back. I always knew that I was going to do something in sciences, and I always knew. I went to Albers, right, high school, so, and I always knew that I would end up probably doing a PhD somewhere. In NASA was an interesting situation. I actually got a job at the startup, and when I got a job at the startup, things did not exactly jive in the sense that I saw some problems with the startup. The work that I had done during my PhD in Canada had gotten eyes of some people. It involved signal processing, machine learning, and they contacted me and we basically built a relationship. Right. So when I needed to either, I didn't have I had a Canadian citizenship, but that was it, and I needed to anchor myself here because I was going to stay. So I contacted people at NASA, and having an Iranian citizenship didn't exactly wasn't a big plus. I have to tell you, I had a red badge for 5-6 years that I was there. I think there were only 2 red badges in the entire NASA, one me and one apparently some Chinese lady in the East Coast, and but it worked out. It was. I had something to offer, and they
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then after that, you spent some time with an angel group or angel forum, and
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that experience, and then how that prepared you for, I guess I got you a taste of startups and smaller ventures.
Right. So before that, I was at actually England doing an MBA at Cambridge, and I did an MBA dissertation on startup strategies. And this actually is on sites here. I think it's one of the only MBA dissertations from Cambridge that was on sites here. It was called, I think, Entrepreneurial Strategies and Transitions. And the question was, what happens to entrepreneurs? What are the strategies that they make them succeed or make them fail? And that, again, caught eyes of a bunch of people. I started working with a couple of investor groups in London. But again, I had to come back because now I had residency and I had to keep it. And then I came here and I worked with the angel group. Sometimes I wish I hadn't, because
That's funny.
yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, the thing about angels is that I don't know who came with the word angels. There are investors, and then there are serious investors, right? And I remember standing in a room where a head of a fund, who was a $1 billion fund, I'm not going to mention who it was, looked at me, didn't know where I was working, and said, and asked me, he said, what do you think about the landscape and all that? I said, it's good, it's this, it's that. And I said, I think there's going to be more angel investment. Right? He said, that scares me. I said, why? He said that, well, there are angel groups we work with and there are angel groups we don't work with, and he mentioned my angel group.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, Jesus. And he was right. it's like any other thing. You know, you can have really good resources,
Yeah.
right? People that can truly move you forward.
Yeah.
Or you can have people who just, you know,
They're kind of doing it as a hobby. Like I feel like some of the
Yeah.
investors, you know, they may have some experience and they may be very intelligent, but I definitely don't think that they have expertise. Maybe it's a gut feeling, maybe it's a relationship, and you know, when we hear say smart money or you know sophisticated money,
Exactly.
that concept hasn't really reached the Middle East. So people still, you know, money is money, right?
Right.
But here, if you have a good team or a good product and you build something good and you have multiple term sheets, you tend to go with the one that's most connected, and maybe even if the terms aren't as good as the other ones. And so,
Exactly.
with some of the angel investors, some are very very good. Like I know a few get involved, they make introductions, they actually spend time.
Absolutely.
But I think ultimately a lot of the angel investors that I see around the valley are guys that have made their money in the .com time, and now really it's a hobby, or they're bored, or they just want to be around kind of younger entrepreneurs and hang out in a sense. So that's unfortunate, but I mean I guess money's money. Right?
Listen, yeah, I mean, I think good intentions are
Good
great.
inten- yeah.
You know, I think there's a pack mentality also when you get people in a group,
Yeah.
and somebody says no or somebody says yes. You know, there's that influence without really, there's that influence that that can take things, and really one of the reasons that I left the place was because there were some amazing investments that we could have made which we didn't make. And then the other thing was there were some one experience was the head of the group they had such challenges with their companies, with their portfolio companies, because it was like, oh, we should do it this way. It's like, you know, you're not. Displays are not your business. You know, you just invested $100,000. That doesn't jive. Let the other people lead. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were sitting on the board, and it got so bad that I remember this, and I thought, okay, this is it. The company had a board meeting on on Friday, and they said, okay, everybody shows up for the board meeting on Friday, right? And they held the meeting actually on Tuesday, so that our representative wouldn't be there.
Wow.
Right? I mean, you get to that level, you know that, look, there's something
wrong. Yeah.
There's something wrong. So it is something to, yeah.
Okay, and so then all of a sudden you came up with your own idea, and now you've built it. Tell us a little bit what you're up to, and
Sure.
It's kind of interesting because I've dabbled in that space. Not that I have any clue about any artificial intelligence, anything that you're working on, but I have been working with a company from Egypt called Kinjin, and they're doing something related, I guess. But tell us a little bit about your current project and where you are and what you've built.
Sure. Actually, I was sitting there thinking that maybe we can work with Kinjin on some levels.
Yeah.
So, Textomics is a company that does natural language processing, machine learning, and text mining. Those are our three fortes.
Mm-hmm.
And we apply it specifically to the recruiting market. And the recruiting market primarily because it's a large market, it's an inefficient market, the statistics around it are very, very scary. And it also is fairly fragmented. Right? We started building a tool to help people tailor their resumes to the specific job posting.
Yeah.
And then we pivoted, and primarily because we talked to so many recruiters, you know, who are reading resumes, and we have done something now that helps recruiters find candidates or screen resumes
Mm-hmm.
based on the meaning of what is being talked about in the resumes itself. Right. So we try to handle. We don't really try. We do handle the technical capabilities of a candidate, being in sales, being in marketing, being in software engineering.
So is it a software as a service, or
It's a SaaS, it's in the cloud. It's called Resume Sort.
Okay, Resume Sort. Okay.
And it's free. Feel free to go use it. The first 3 times you use it is completely free, and it tailors to your needs. And at the end, it even generates a report that tells you these are the qualifications the candidate has. This is how long he has had it. And these are the qualifications missing, so that you can call them up, ask intelligent questions, and then take notes.
Very cool. That's funny. Yeah, we do this thing on the show called Lessons Through Stories, and I think you took a look at our board here.
Mm-hmm.
our topics that we try to cover.
Right.
I think you were going to pick one, and I'm actually kind of glad that you. Which one was it that you were going to do?
Oh, good question. Which one was it? You said there was one that wasn't covered.
Yeah, reverse engineering.
Oh, sure.
And that's actually one of my favorite ones because Clarence Wooten, who's going to be on the show soon, one day sat me down and he explained reverse engineering to me. And maybe I'd love to hear your version before I say what my interpretation is. But what's your experience around reverse engineering something?
So in terms of reverse engineering, I can tell you that a lot of people have been trying to reverse engineer Google.
Yeah.
And I know that from my investment days, right? From the times where I was working with investor groups. It's exactly like the word says, you know, you find something that has been done and you try to rebuild it and make it better. I think that the key thing that people often miss is making it better, right? What is it that is missing?
Yeah.
And what is it that you want to do, right? Take our example, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Take resume sort. Resume sort, at the end of the day, is a glorified search engine. It's a smart search engine.
Yeah. With a very specific use case now to start with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it probably will stay that way.
Stay out. Okay, that's
You know,
good.
And the reason behind it is because I don't want to compete with Google.
Okay.
Okay. And it learns and it tailors it to you and it tailors, you know, it personalizes things, right? So the question is, you know, how are we different than other search engines, right? So I looked at the machine code. It does indexing, it does all that. But when you look at the question is what is missing. And what is really, really missing is the fact that sentences mean something.
Yeah.
Right? Language has a structure to it. Right? Paragraphs convey an information. A word that sits there by itself,
Yeah.
you know, take the word bank, right? It's a place to deposit your money. It's also bank of a river. It's also a plain banking,
Sure.
right? So it's pretty much like human beings. You know, you are self-contained thing, but your relationship, your associations with different people is different, and it defines, you know, what you do with those people, right? So and that was missing, right? And that was what, and also this is really, really key. I think, you know, they say in when you choose a problem, there are three things to look at.
Yeah.
Okay. One of them is so investors they call it a tripod, right? The management and the execution, right? And you talk to guys at Kawasaki, he says people wouldn't invest in Google because there was no management.
Yeah.
People wouldn't invest in Facebook, you know, so on and so forth. So there's a problem. There's a technology itself, right? And I think the Middle Eastern folks have an advantage here because they can take a look at the technology that, for instance, is built around iPhone, right? Take the same things, apply it to their culture, to their.
Sure.
And then there's the market.
Yeah.
Right. And the market is probably one of the most important things that you want to look at, right? How effective is it? Who's going to be using it? How much are they willing to pay for it? Are they willing to pay for it? And what impact is it going to build? And what they're going to do next? You know, if you look at, for instance, what you're doing with Resume Sort, right? This is a stepping stone to the things that are going to be coming along later on, right? And then I know you have Steve Blank here. I think everybody should take Steve's course online. Get your users involved. Okay?
Yeah.
Get them involved. Find out what is it that's a pain point for them, and then go beyond that.
Yeah.
Be an adult. Okay? Say, okay, I know this is your problem.
Yeah.
Then we went to recruiters and we told them, you know, you understand based on meaning. They said, no, you can't do that. I said, oh, yeah, try. Right? And they were just, it wasn't even working properly at the beginning. They were like, whoa, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Right? So you spent half an hour trying to explain that, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So, so I think reverse engineering is take a problem that perhaps somebody else has solved, figure out how they have done it, but go beyond that.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very cool. Yeah, I fully agree, and definitely agree with people learning from Steve Blank because he definitely gets it. So and he's constantly pushing the envelope and doing. Now he's launched a new thing called Next, which is a 5-week course that he's teaching. So based on his curriculum. So finally, last thing we want to do on the show is something called Old Rules.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is that we want you to tell us a rule that you live by and that's kind of helped you along the way.
Right.
And maybe even one that you like people to abide by when dealing with you. So bi-directional.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess there are very many rules. One of the so being in this resume sorting business and all that, everybody asks me questions about hiring. How do you hire? You know, and also one of the most difficult things is how do you fire people? How do you get rid of them?
Yeah.
Right.
Hire fast, hire slowly, fire fast. Yeah.
I think actually technology will help you to do it the other way around. I think you will be surprised if you let people do what they can do.
Yeah.
You know, people surprising and amazing you can never think of. One of the things that I strongly recommend, however, is when it comes down to okay, so recruiting has two parts. There's a technical technical first, and your candidate side, and then there's the cultural fit. And those are really important. Those are extremely important. The most important rule, I think, is treat people the way you want to be treated.
Of course, that's
right. And we talk about it, but we don't do it.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, a friend of mine had to
agree.
fire somebody, and I had to step in there and help. And one of the things that dawned on me was that, you know, it's so interesting, is if I was going to fire this person, I would do it differently. I would give him a lot of feedback so that there wouldn't be a surprise.
Empower them
Right.
and just let them know. Like, I mean, I think you're right. I actually heard someone the other day talking about like firing someone if it's not the right fit might be a blessing in disguise for the other person if you
Very
can
much
empower
so.
them and let them know and so you know obviously it doesn't feel good to be fired, but if you've gotten feedback and if it's just not the right fit and you're not happy or you're not really pushing the envelope and really engaged in what it is or passionate, then you shouldn't be there, and
Right.
that it shouldn't be about a paycheck, especially in a startup. So
Right.
that's definitely true. So empowering people, giving them feedback, and then you know just treating people how you how you want to be
I'll
treated.
give you 3 rules that I learned.
Sure.
Okay. If you really want to motivate people, tell them where you're going and why is it important.
Yep.
Okay. Why is it that we're doing this? That's the most important thing that gets people going. Okay. Second thing is how we're going to get there.
Yep.
Okay. And lastly, what's in it for you? You know, why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
And that's a conversation that would be ongoing a lot of times.
Yeah, it is.
Right? But everybody should have a stake. Everybody should have a skin. And everybody should be rewarded properly for it. Just
Totally.
like you want to be.
No, there's
Right?
pride of ownership and pride of building something.
Exactly.
And when I say pride of ownership and building something, we're not talking about specifically just the money. We're talking about, you know, being part of a team and feeling like you're building something and contributing.
Absolutely.
That sometimes is almost a better feeling than a paycheck, and I've been through that many times.
Absolutely.
Where the money was like, okay, so I made some money, but like, what's the shirinshie, like what's the sweetness in this whole thing?
What's the accomplishment?
What's the accomplishment exactly? Esfandiar, I want to thank you for making time. Hope you
pleasure.
enjoy this. By the way, this is baklava from Beirut.
Really, man.
It costs more to ship it than to buy it, so
I agree.
it's delivered. So
Thank
please
you.
have a piece. We have a T-shirt for you somewhere.
I'll get one on the way.
Yeah,
out.
we'll
Thank you
get.
very much.
Okay, anyway, so here's the T-shirt. If you're ever jogging, or it's not the right size, but it's a girl's
Okay,
one.
sure.
But if you're ever jogging or sleeping and they're comfortable,
Thank you.
or if you just want to wear it out, we'd appreciate it. Thanks a
Very
lot,
much.
Esfandiar.
You're doing a wonderful thing, by the way.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Wonderful.
We're trying to help out. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot. Peace.
Thank you.